Hello. So, interesting things I've learned about myself writing these 4 poems. I think technically more than that if you count the writing responses, but um, I've learned that poetry is harder than I remember it being. In 7th grade, we did like a week of poetry, and I did poetry well past that week. 7th grade for me was just me running around and writing poetry about random things. Like I had a whole folder just full of poems I wrote. So I thought this section was going to be really easy, and it turned out to be hard. For some reason, it's hard for me to imagine a poem and write it in a way that matches what I originally envisioned. So I think that's the most interesting thing I've discovered, because I remembered it being way easier. Maybe it's because I'm more mature and want to write more mature pieces, but I also discovered I kind of go off the deep end when writing poetry, because I always like to choose a little more serious topics when I write papers. Maybe some deep stuff, some dark stuff, not really happy-go-lucky kind of stuff. But I don't think I've ever written about murder until poetry. I was like, man, what would be a cool poem? And I was like, a child murdering her babysitter in her point of view. So I mean, it was a lot. And I think what I've learned is that I appreciate so much making such a pretty art form so vulgar. Like I don't know what the word is, but when something is just so opposite it works, that kind of thing. So anyway, because I think some people think that poems are sweet and flowery with rhyming and all that, and I did the opposite. I think my favorite poem would be that one, the one in the child's point of view, because I wrote one in the babysitter's point of view as well, but I like the one in the kids. I really like the rhymes I used in that one. I liked the format, and I think maybe if I wrote the other poems in that same format with some creative writing built in, maybe not completely rhyming, but similar to that, I think I would like them more. I think it was just the way it flowed. I think I finally got it, whereas the other poems were a little choppier in my opinion. I just wasn't as proud as the other ones. Like they didn't feel good when they were over the way that this one did. But yeah, maybe it's because of rhyming, maybe it's because of formatting, maybe I just finally found my niche. But that was my favorite